SKYH. I don't know why it's not coming up over here, but that's a good chart. An LGVN. You can see the fry pan bottom. You can basically see the upward trend channel. So again, these are high probability or much higher probability chart trade setups that allow you to maybe you don't hit the big trades, but at least you have the opportunity. This is not working right. That's because I typed the right one. To create a trading strategy that at least takes advantage of knowing the high probability direction, which sometimes it's options, sometimes it's option spreads. So at least you've got a better playing field to work with. I didn't want to do that. So NZ also has this kind of bobble breakout setup. And where are the high probability entry strategies if you're planning to buy this tomorrow? If it comes back up through today's open, that pretty much tells you it's confirming everything, and that becomes an excellent entry point, a very high probability entry point. Why do you wait for confirmation? Because even though you might have a good sell signal, like we saw in HCP, had this opened lower and started trading lower, we could have shorted it. It opened and immediately started trading higher. So as soon as you start seeing green, the first thought should be, well, there's buyers here still. I'm looking for sellers, and it's not there. I'll just hold up for a little bit. Because where would be a good entry point if it started trading higher? You could go short if it came back down through that level. That was, was it Crocs? Crocs was a good short. That's not the one. PayPal was. Make this big enough where we can see it. If you can see that you're in a pattern, like a dumpling top, you see some buying, and you're deciding whether to go short or add to your some short positions, if it comes back down through this level, that's telling you this was just a up day. I now wait because I learned that I get burned when I get in without confirmation. I would rather be a little bit late to the party, but know that my probabilities are greatly enhanced by seeing that confirmation or the price moving in the right direction. So that kind of offsets the question I always get. People say, well, if you see the pattern setting up or the signal setting up, can you buy at the end of the day as it's setting up or making that signal? And the answer is why? Why not get better probabilities of waiting to see if it's going to open positive the next day and confirm that signal? I would rather dramatically improve my correct trade ratio than trying to get in a little bit early or out a little bit early. I want to see it actually confirm. I want that high probability trade setup. So same scenario on PayPal. You're in a dumpling top. It opens here, closes up here. Next day it comes back down through this level. What's it telling us about our pattern? It's still working. Today it opened here, closed here. If it trades lower and starts trading down, you can still short this one. Because what do we expect coming out of a dumpling top? A good, strong, bearish price move. TPK didn't execute. Did I say right? TBK. But if this opens lower and starts trading lower, what is it telling us? This was just an up day and a downtrend. Look at your bearish best friend, wave 1, wave 2, going into wave 3. And when do you take profits? When it looks like the probabilities are starting to diminish. Excellent place to go short. Look at your bearish kicker type signal. Then trading lower the next day. This went from the 30 area down here, now it's at 4. But now that it's at 4, what's your downside prospects? Doesn't look all that great. If you've just made that type of profit and now the probabilities in the oversold area are starting to diminish, take the money and go on and find another good trade. WMG, another one that closed above where it opened. But did it create a buy signal? Not really. Now, at least now you have a game plan, because we can see the dumpling top. You're below the T line. You're below the 3T line. Makes this very simple. If it opens lower, you stay short, or you could still possibly be shorting this one based upon it breaking this level and your dumpling top taking you much lower. Now, that's also going to be a function of analyzing what the overall market is doing. Obviously, if we wake up tomorrow and the pre-market futures are showing the market's going to open up 250 points, you're probably not going to go after short positions aggressively during that time frame or that scenario. On the other hand, if we wake up and the pre-market futures are showing the Dow's going to open down 130 points, yeah, that's when you start watching to see if some of these patterns continue to confirm. So something like this, not a real definitive dumpling top, but you can see how, darn. You can see what the overall trend of this one is. And you can see where it keeps failing, right here at the 50. And then you see a big bearish engulfing signal. Remember, one of our rules of thumbs, the bigger the signal, the more compelling, that's the direction of the investor sentiment. Big bearish engulfing, kind of a dumpling top, another failure at the 50. Where do you think the next likely target is going to be? Probably what everybody else kind of is assuming. You're still in a downtrend. Look for it to come back down into this direction. What was that one? That was KKR. APP, same scenario. What's your trend? Downtrend. Where did it fail? 50 with a bearish Harami gap down. You stay short on this one. And Para. That's your gap down kicker type signal. That's kind of your trend channel. So we're probably looking for it to head down in this direction. So what was the signal today? There is no signal. Oh, that was an up day. No. Let's see. On KKR, it could be. But remember, we just had a very strong sell signal in a downtrend. I would still assume, after a big strong sell signal off the 50, in a downtrend, that the 50 has been used as a resistance level. The worst case scenario would be, if it opens positive, I'm going to see what it'll close. If I was short, which I am, I'll close out the position, see what it does at the T line, and if it fails, get ready to reshort it. So there are a lot of them, I say a lot of them, there were a few today that had that kind of that scenario. A bullish engulfing. Now remember, that's different. This is Twilio. That is a reversal signal in the oversold area. And where did this occur? Right about the same bullish Harami signal over here. What's that tell me about my prospects as far as being short? Well, after seeing a bullish engulfing signal in the oversold area, that's a heck of a lot different than just seeing an up day. Oh, you're still trying to offset. You're not quite in the oversold area, and you're still, well, for crying out loud. Now, hold on, I got to do the spam call.
Hello, this is a call from your utility company.
Oh, God. So that could be a piercing signal, but you also need to put in your analysis. You're below the T line, you had a big sell signal, you're in kind of a dumpling top failure, and so that will be a much better one to calculate or analyze based upon how they open everything tomorrow. If they open the Dow down 120 points and the NASDAQ opening lower, I would still assume this downtrend is in progress. Now, on the other hand, obviously, if they open the Dow up 120 points and they open this positive, yes, now it's got the prospects of a double bottom. I'd start closing out the position and then see what it does at the T line. Another one that did a bullish engulfing left-right combo in a downtrend. We'll need to see the same thing. If you're short, you get ready to cover the short on this one on positive trading. So the problem with today's trend is that you had a lot of stocks that were in a pattern that did buy signals. But remember what we need to see after these buy signals. We need to see confirmation. So we'll get that confirmation, again, based on how they open the markets tomorrow. If they open down here and start trading lower, that means this whole trend is still in progress. A bullish engulfing on Lending Tree. Kind of in that same area that it bottomed out before, well, a little bit lower. But this allows us to make our decision. This opened positive tomorrow when we were short. We close out the position. To stay short, what do we need to see? We need to see it open and trade lower. So at least we know what our plan of action will be based upon where prices are in their trend, what type of signals, and what is the market telling us it's going to do from here. Spotify, kind of that same scenario. The downtrend should be at least down here. They're still below the T line, but look how far some of these are away from the T line. So even though they're below the T line, if you're trading, if this opens positive tomorrow, I'd cover the short positions or my puts, because where did I think it was going to go to? Probably back up to the T line. If it fails there, I can always re-short. But at least I know based upon the buying today, if they start confirming, we know where our first target is. The further you are from the T-line, the more likely you're going to come back up and test it. Okay, we did that one. So AEO, after that strong sell signal, shooting star, hanging man, bearish engulfing, closed below the T-line, gap down. That's a strong short, except it didn't execute today. However, we know exactly where to go short. This opens lower and comes back down through this level. That means they're still heading in a downward direction. Just going through some that we have and what the game plan is. Roblox has to open lower and trade lower tomorrow. Wouldn't want to see it trade back up above today's high because you're in the oversold area, kind of spinning tops. If it opens positive, where's the likely target? Back up here to the T-line. So if we wake up and everything's trading positive, cover those short positions, and then just wait to see what happens once they get up to the T-line. Carvana, the bigger the signal, the more compelling there's a change of investor sentiment. Now you've got a spinning top, you got a doji. Start watching for some bullish confirmation. Don, yes, unless you're a good distance away from the T-line. Let's say you were watching Carvana and you wanted to buy it, and it did a doji down here and then opened positive. Well, if you want to be aggressive, you could be buying it, because what is your expectation on that buy signal? That it's at least going to come back up and test the T-line. Now, if I was planning to buy this, that's probably not a good example. If it looked more like this, see if I can do this, and they were that close to the T-line, I'd probably wait for it now to get up through the T-line. But the fact that it moved a little bit further away from the T-line, if I was thinking that the market had turned around and this had turned around, if I bought here, I'd definitely watch to see what happens at the T-line. But I would say that most of the time, I'm going to wait for it to close up above the T-line before going after it. All right, the biggies, like NVIDIA. Even though it traded positive today, it still looks like we're in a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now, I say it looks like we're in wave 3. Even though this might be considered a piercing signal, we still have to wait to see what the confirmation is of these signals, or for these signals. Amazon, same scenario. Apple, bounced off the 200, but not necessarily telling us there's any buy signal here just yet. And Tesla, that's a nothing chart. Which way is Tesla going right now? Can't tell. That means I want to put my money someplace else where I can get a better feel or a better analysis. Netflix still can't get out of its own way. Still in a downtrend. All right, so there's some good bullish charts in this market. Clovis, CLVS, Look where it's supporting, right off the 34, bullish confirmation, back up above the T-line. Where do you think the next target could be? Back up here toward the 200. And Ruby. Morningstar type signal. Now, would I have been buying today? Probably not, because one, saw it late in the day or somebody brought it to our attention in the chat room. Two, it closed right here. This makes it a much easier decision. If it opens positive and starts trading positive, what's it telling us? Telling us it's confirming the Morningstar signal and telling us the T-line is not acting as resistance anymore. Where would we consider our first targets? Up in this area, which would be a substantial return. Kava, here's a good example of why you want to see it close above the T-line. Now you can see it was trading well above the T-line for a good part of the day, and then closed right here. Now obviously that's not a great chart with it closing right at the T-line, but it makes it a very easy decision tomorrow. If this opens positive, this profit taking is over, that bullish signal is still in progress, a bullish left-right combo, that's when you can be buying. And Nano, look where your Morningstar signal occurred, right smack dab off the 50 in the oversold area. This is what improves the probabilities of being in the right place at the right time. Seeing that everybody is buying at the 50, which now means the prospects of this move is greatly enhanced because obviously the 50 is going to act as support. DCFC, the bigger the signal, the more compelling you're in an uptrend. And look where it kind of closed, right here at this resistance level. Shows you if it opens positive on that left-right combo, they're going through this level, giving you wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Saw that same thing in GoDaddy. GoDaddy did a kicker signal. And look where it closed, right here at this resistance level. Same scenario. If they open this positive, confirming the kicker signal and telling you this level is not acting as resistance, it's got good probabilities. Wave 3 is going to be the same magnitude as wave 1. Viru, J-hook pattern. BOXD. See what happened after the breakout? Nice steady uptrend. I don't know how far back this goes. Well, that's a pretty indecisive fry pan bottom. Now you can see what the decision is coming out the other side. This thing, oh, that's because I typed it wrong. NKTX. This is your rare process. Best friend signal closed right here at the 200. This is where you go back and find out what the news was. Which forward indicators do you recommend? No, not advanced declines. The number one is the signal. Number two is stochastics. And number 3 is the T-line. And GTLB, that looked better on the other chart, but Morningstar signal, if this opens positive, breaking out through the 50, that's going to give you a little bit of running room. All right, so on the downside, this was to illustrate the bearish left-right combo. Gap down. That is stochastics T-line. The first one is the signal itself. Yes, price. That is what's telling us there's a change of investor sentiment. That's the whole reason we're looking at candlestick signals in the first place, because the Japanese race traders spent hundreds of years observing what type of signals occur at reversals. Now, the bearish left-right combo is one of the few that you don't have to have a confirmation. If you see a left-right combo, especially in the overbought area, close it out. Or if it opens lower the next day, close it out immediately. I think I have some to illustrate that. Let me go down to my list here. Trox, a bearish left-right combo. Bearish left-right combo right here at the 50, right here at this level. If this opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. Stochastics heading down after that strong reversal signal. Not only the strong reversal signal, but the visual elements that we can include into our quick glance is left-right combo at the 50 and at the same level it topped out before. And that's all within a matter of seconds, split seconds, that you can analyze. That's where the sellers were taking control. And in the case of a bearish left-right combo, it's telling you the bears are in great control. Bearish left-right combo at the top of the trend, gap down. You could probably still be shorting this one with the strength of that signal, probably at least bringing you back to the 200. TNP, shooting star doji, bearish left-right combo. Very strong reversals. Yes. Now, obviously, which one was that? Trox. Okay. You don't have to wait. Exactly. Now, let me finish that. That if I was long and I saw that, I'd close out the long position. If I was ready to go short, I'd want to see it open lower the next day. More than likely it will, but why not wait for that extra confirmation? Left-right combo. Just high probabilities that you're heading in the opposite direction. Left-right combo, an AROC. So anytime I see something like this, that left-right combo has a little bit more emphasis as far as getting ready to go short, or you put a little bit more favor in that direction. So anytime you see that gap down below the previous day's open, that's telling you there's a strong change of investor sentiment. Now, when this one opened lower today, what did you have? A bearish flutter kicker signal. So 2 places you can short: when it opens lower, or now you have a bearish flutter kicker on any weakness from here. HPK becomes a very good short on weakness because look where it opened. At the lower end of that trading range and went the opposite direction. Not quite a kicker signal, but the fact that they gapped down and traded below the previous day's open, that tells you there's a lot of bearish strength coming in into that one. And when you can analyze that a whole sector is being sold off. Gunk, Genco Shipping, you can see where that was trading lower. At the same time, you had your left-right combo on Golden selling off. TK Tankers. This is one, oh, I know I wanted to do this one, is look what you were seeing up here in the overbought area. Doji, 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 selling, shooting star. You didn't have to wait for this one to get back below the T-line. When you're in the overbought area and you're starting to see a lot of indecision, your first thought process should be, do I know which direction this is going? It hasn't closed below the T-line, but it's not going anywhere. I'm probably better off up here in the overbought area, closing out the position, taking my profits, and going and finding something like this that's in the oversold area. So if you're trading right next to the T-line, and you don't want to see it close below the T-line, you start moving away and you start seeing a lot of sell signals, start making the assumption that your signals are telling you something. You don't necessarily have to wait for that final confirmation of the T-line. And also, what is the overall market doing? If what you're in is starting to show a lot of indecision, even though it isn't selling off, and the market is starting to trade lower, just kind of put that 2 plus 2 together and say, wait a minute, this is not great anymore. I don't see a lot of strength. Let's close out the position. So Eagle Bulk Shipping selling off. This one I like because there's your bullish left-right combo, Electronic Arts. And now look where they consolidated to. Right back to the T-line. Now, for you new folks, you're going to hear this over and over like the folks have been here for a while. When they come right back to the T-line and bounce back up, what's the significance of that? The significance is that we've already established that for some reason the T-line acts like a natural support and resistance of human nature. And when it comes down and hits off the T-line and bounces back up, it tells us the bulls are still in control and are probably in good control. But what's more relevant about that is nobody else has this on their chart. So on everybody else's chart, it's just coming down to a level and bouncing back up. We've already established with the T-line that that is a natural support and resistance level of human nature. DWAC, some people were asking about going short on this one. The only problem with that is at any given time, they can make an announcement and skyrocket it. But if you're short, you stay short. Just keep your safety stops in place or be ready to cover it on any signs of strength. VSAT, there's your failure right here. Another one that probably has, well, until you see a buy signal, more downside. Let's see, whose handwriting is this? UHS. A big bearish best friend. Just the fact that they've done this and bounced it doesn't mean they've healed the investor sentiment. Where would I be shorting this? It came back down through this level. Anytime you've got a big signal or they're gapping down below the previous day's open. Let me just skip a beat here. This was live or lean hogs. Up until this point, that was a nothing chart. Didn't know what it was going to do. However, today, when they opened it down here at the lower end of that trading range, started going short because just the probabilities tell you that if they're gapping it down to the previous day's open, after you've had a big bearish signal, kind of an evening star signal, and your stochastics not really going anywhere, the probabilities are they're taking it down, which I rode this all the way down. They went down the limit today, so that was a good profitable trade. But up until today's open, wouldn't paid any attention to this because there was no direction. It was this piece of information right there that told you the bears were definitely in control. CXW. You can see the evening star signal. You can see where it closed, right smack dab on the T-line. So what's our doji rule? It's going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. If this opens lower tomorrow, you could be shorting it immediately because you're going to have an evening star signal followed by a bearish doji sandwich, followed by the fact that it's trading below the T-line. Where's your next likely target? At least coming down here to fill the gap, which is getting you pretty close to the 34. ASTL, well. I don't know where that one went. Schlumberger was another one that gapped down, did kind of a trend kicker, telling you there's a lot more to the downside, and Halliburton kind of followed suit after gapping down from the doji through the T-line and then gapped down again today. And why was today's gap down significant? Because they gapped it down through the 50 that would likely have been a support level and went south. That tells you there's probably a lot more to the downside on this one. And Zim, same scenario. What can we see going on in this one? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Wave 1, wave 2, now going into wave 3. All right, so the Dow looks like it's down a little bit, 25 points after hours. So we want to definitely see how they open this market tomorrow. If they open it positive, it means they're going to probably bring it back up to the T-line. Tomorrow the T-line is probably going to be down somewhere in this range, pretty close to the 50. However, if they do that, it's telling us they're not selling off hard. It might be kind of a junky trading, slow trading range. Okay, guess that's about all I've got for tonight. Are there any general questions on candlesticks? Oh, gold and silver. Gold getting whacked pretty hard ever since it came back down through the T-line, now through this level. I would suspect it's heading down to the 200. And silver, Let's find something that's not this far out. The May contract. There's your bearish doji sandwich. It's up a little bit after hours, but I would assume it's still in a downtrend. Silver stocks are still trading off. Look what started the downtrend on First Majestic. Bearish left-right combo. MAG, bearish left-right combo. Ego, kind of your bearish belt hold type signal. Will interest rate hikes due to war and inflation send us into a bear market? Who knows, DJ? We're not trying to be that type of an analyst. The assumption would be, yes, it should. But I don't try to make that decision. I watch to see what everybody else's decisions are. That if this is the 200, or I failed at the 200, we might be in the slow drifting downtrend. So we don't have to make any market assumption, because I bet you dime to donuts, if you asked 10 analysts what the market's going to do over the next 6 months, you'll get 10 different answers. There is only one right answer to what the market's going to do, and that's the market itself telling us what it's doing. Let's see. Some stocks, that's why you always want to look at the volume of a stock. Some stocks aren't shortable because the brokerage firm that you're dealing with, remember, every time you sign a margin agreement, part of that margin agreement is you agreeing to the fact that if they need to come to your account and borrow stock to lend it to somebody that has shorted it, they're allowed to do that, and then they'll replenish your stock when they get it back. A lot of times there'll be stocks that don't have enough trading in it, where there might be stock available in the brokerage firm that you're dealing with. And then there's some that a brokerage firm might just deem as being too volatile, but they don't want to be responsible for anybody to short it. So if you can't short the stock, then your from that point is maybe buying puts or a put spread. Was it a left-right combo? It's both. Doesn't matter what you call it. The left-right combo, evening star signal. Ronald, hold on to your individual ones until I tell Jim to do the double line. Do you buy, or is it safe to buy, call and put options on stocks like Mara and Riot based on what you see on the Bitcoin charts and say, or Bitcoin? Rob, exactly. If you're thinking about buying crude oil stocks, well, you're probably going to get a good indication of what's happening based upon what the crude oil stock is, or charts are doing. Oops. This is coin heading lower. So yes, the whatever commodity or whatever influence on that sector, you can, and the chart is also going to tell you what's happening. Now there'll be a lot of times where gold prices might be up, but all the stocks in the gold sector are down. Why does that happen? I have no idea. but we don't have to know. All we're analyzing is what's happening to the stocks, because somebody out there that's probably a lot closer to that sector of that industry and has big money involved are making decisions not based on what is currently obvious, but something else that might be involved in that sector despite what the current commodity is doing. So that goes back to my statement, let the market tell you what the market is doing. Vasu, yeah, we can do, I've got written down that we will do a commodities or futures session here pretty soon. They were just commenting on that today, that Bitcoin seems to now be falling into a more of a following the market itself. So remember, in the past, it used to be if crude oil prices were going up, that would be bad for the stock market. The stock market would go down. Then there would be other times where crude oil prices would go up, and that was an indication that the economy was getting better, so the market would go up. So you want to see, you don't want to take it for granted that something is going to act with or counter to a commodity or another trading entity, because the psychology can change. So if you see Bitcoin going up or down right now, you can pretty much assume those stocks are going to go with it. If all of a sudden Bitcoin goes up and the Bitcoin stocks go down, means something else is happening out there in the industry. So you don't want to try to analyze what's happening. You want to analyze what everybody else thinks is happening. So it's supposed to be junior gold. So it's GEX. I forget which. Let's see, Nugget. Heading down. Okay. Guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And then 3.4 seconds do the next double line. Uber. That's kind of a junky chart. No real direction to it. Probably would be someplace else. TDOC. That one I'd be more oriented toward the short side. Even though it traded up today, I would stay short on this as long as it stays below the T line. DNA. Another one that you could buy if it opens positive tomorrow. Up through the 50. And United Airlines, I would stay long, but now I'd probably put a safety stop at today's low. I wouldn't want to see it come back through that level after 3 dojis up here. You want to still see that it's in a 45-degree, confirming this J-hook pattern. Myrna. That's a toughie too. If I was short, I probably would have covered the short today, but I wouldn't be going long. That one's not a real enticing chart at this point. When buying sympathy stocks such as airlines or banks, if the sector is breaking out or breaking down, how would you choose the best 2 or 3 to buy? options on when there are so many to choose from, and the charts often look the same. Just go down real quick and say, all right, which ones of this sector has the strongest chart pattern? Well, we can see Delta did, when we recommended this one, it was based upon the bobble breakout. Southwest would have been a doji sandwich. So that's why you want to know what the strong signals indicate to tell you which ones to go after. So anytime I see a sector that's pushing everything in the same direction, it only takes 15 seconds to go through 5, 6, 7 of them and see which ones might have the strongest chart in that sector. P10, bearish left-right combo, stay short. Apple, we've done. Right now, if you're short, you stay short, but if it opens positive, anticipate they're going to be bouncing up to test the T-line. And there's another strong bearish engulfing signal. I would stay short on this one. Probably with it being that close to the T-line, I would stay short as long as it stays below the T-line. ExxonMobil, you can short this one still if it opens lower tomorrow. Didn't we just do GDX? GDX, stay short. New L Rubber. If you're thinking of going long, if you're long, you can stay long, which would have been a toughie to do Friday. If you're long, stay long. If you're thinking of going long, wait for it to come up through the 200. Visa, If you're short, stay short. Use the T-line as your stop. Shopify, stay short. You can see the downtrend. Make you see the downtrend. You can see the downtrend. You can see when they pop up, they fail at that. Now it looks like it still could be heading back to this area. So stay short. Path. Oops. You're riding this lower trend support level. If I was short and it opened positive tomorrow, I'd cover the short position. Wouldn't necessarily be going long, but at least I'd cover the short position. Clove, nothing. That's kind of a nothing chart. I'd probably be someplace else. And TTF, oh, that's not, is that the right one? That's not coming up over here. AIRG, another one that if you bought it, you would have closed it out here when it came back through the 50 and back below the halfway point of this candle. Now you can get ready to buy it again if it opens positive because you can see where the J-hook pattern is supporting. ZYXI. That's a toughie to have stayed in, but if you're in, it has to open positive. I wouldn't want to see it close below the T-line. Goog. Stay short, but get ready to cover if they start trading positive, bouncing up to the T-line. TTCF, stay short. Nothing there at all to tell you the bulls have come into play on this one. And LNG, this one you can still short on a weaker open tomorrow. Doji rule. Microsoft, you're pretty much, Well. Pretty much right down here in this support area. I just have a hard time trading Microsoft. It's so lethargic because it's an institutional trader. If you were short, I'd cover the short position on positive trading tomorrow, but I probably wouldn't be going long for two reasons. Because of the market conditions heading down, and this one not being a real strong chart right now. Disney, stay short. ExxonMobil can be shorted on weakness tomorrow. Robinhood just stays short. Nothing there yet. You might be hitting a support level, but tomorrow your stochastic should, or your T-line should be down here. I would stay short as long as it stays below the T-line. BABA stays short. RDBX, this one you could be going long. That's a nice little breakout right there. And CRGE, oops. Let's see. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Okay. Yeah, for some reason they've cut this chart off. This is in the process of doing a classic pattern, a big fry pan bottom. So you could buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. Okay. Yep. So the market's not selling off after hours. It'll be important to see how they open this market tomorrow. All right, everybody, have a good spring evening. We'll see everybody bright and early in the morning. We'll see you then.